Hello everyone, welcome to our channel at Conquering Adulthood. Me and Courtney are currently socially distancing, if you can't tell the screen share here.
Yeah, we're not across the same place. We are at our home.
Yes, we are at our homes. I hope you guys like my very fancy wall here. Yes, I'm wearing pajama pants. That's okay.
Same. I have shorts on underneath. So you gotta do what you gotta do though.
Today I'm going to share a very important topic, a very timely topic we're all navigating and at least thinking about. I'll start with a little disclaimer. I am not an expert in this area by any means. I am just going to share how I am personally preparing my finances during this uncertain time. I'm just going to go through this, give you guys some actionable steps to take. I'm going to try to skip through the popcorn advice and really just give you guys some concrete steps that you guys can take today to start prepping your finances. The first step that I'm doing is thinking through my worst case scenario. What would my personal worst case scenario be? And then I'm thinking, what are some action plans that I can create now so that if my worst case scenario happens, I'll have a plan ready. A worst case scenario might be, of course, losing your job, not having a source of income, maybe not being able to afford your living situation. So what are you gonna do in case that happens? And then think through what some possible solutions might be. So maybe right now you want to start thinking of some side hustles, which I'm going to get into later in the video, but maybe some side hustles that you'll be able to start if you lose your source of income. Maybe you want to start planning your emergency fund. So I'm actually going to now go through some possible solutions of what you can take. But what I want you to ask yourself. Hi, Bailey.
Hi, Bailey. Sorry, everyone. This is Bailey. This is my cat. He's going to join us.
Oh, Bailey. I want him to hear my financial advice.
He wants some Sari advice.
Yeah, he's listening. So I want you to ask yourself this question. What do you need to survive for the next 12 to 18 months? Think of how much money you're gonna need, shelter, food, think of everything. Make yourself a list. Then I want you to think how you can get ahead of these potential hardships in case they do happen. And what is your action plan in case these scenarios become a reality? That is tip number one. Tip number two is probably a solution point that you may have thought of while you were brainstorming your worst case scenario, but to create and to build yourself an emergency budget. So if this is something that you have not already been doing, you really need to create an emergency budget, even if it's just, putting a little bit aside every single month to put into an emergency fund. If you don't currently have a source of income, start thinking of just creative ways that you can create a source of income for yourself so that you can contribute a little bit to your emergency fund. So maybe that's starting side hustles like Instacart. If you don't want to go out of your home right now, we have an entire blog post on our website of ways that you can make some extra income without even leaving your home. Give that a look. Definitely try to contribute as much as you can to your emergency fund. So that's tip number two. Court, do you have anything that you want to add before I move on to my next step?
I always suggest when you are looking at your monthly finances, a lot of people rent an apartment. I have an apartment that I'm living in right now. So what I always suggest is to, when you're looking at your long-term goals for what you need to save up, create a month-to-month budget, substitute the things that you could do without, take care of the little things, and then when it comes to any debt, try to tackle the smaller amounts first before you get to the bigger ones.
Yeah, definitely. And I have a spreadsheet that I use to track all my expenses, so maybe we'll share that here. And that actually goes into my next tip, which is to really make sure that you know every dollar you have coming in and every dollar that you're spending. I don't know about you, but I'm not always good at this. I'm not always great at tracking every single dollar that I have coming in versus every single dollar that I have coming out. When you are preparing your finances, and you really want to know everything that you have and everything that you have going out. I like an app called Track It. It's a great app. Also, Mint is, I just started using Mint, and I think I was like the last person in the world to use it. I don't know if you use it, Court, but it's good. It tracks all of your expenses. It gives you what your net worth is, your debt. It really tracks everything. So definitely I would suggest that. That's tip number 3. Yes, Courtney.
I have a tip here. Something that I think a lot of people forget about, and I forget about this all the time, is go through the apps that you have on your phone and go in your Apple store and see if there are apps that you've bought previously or have monthly subscriptions to that you may not use anymore, because there are things like when I was a diehard Christina Perri fan, I had the Christina Perri app and I had the premium version. I hadn't used the app in months, but my card was still getting charged, $8 a month. And those little amounts every now and then, even for monthly subscriptions and stuff like that, really keep track of what you're using and what you're not using. That way you can kind of cut things out as needed.
What a great segue, which is to cut expenses and really limit your spendings. For me personally, I am trying right now to only spend on the necessities. Food is a necessity, your bills, anything that's like extra. So we're not eating out right now, but makeup or anything that like you usually might get yourself as a special treat. It's not a necessity right now. Try to cut your expenses. Subscriptions is a really, really easy way every month. My next tip here is to form a safety net and to either start a side hustle or research possible side hustles that you could start. So again, we posted an article on conqueringadulthood.com that lists a whole bunch of side hustles that you can start from your couch. So you don't have to leave your home. Also side hustles that you can make a considerable amount of money that you do leave your home. Like Instacart is one that I do. I'm not doing it right now, but I've done, and you can make a really good chunk of income from that. I also wrote a whole post on a guide to starting with Instacart. Again, conqueringadulthood.com. You can check that out. We'll link it in the description. But if you don't want to leave your home right now, which obviously, unless you have to, check out our website for a list of side hustles that you could start without even leaving your home. My last tip here is to research resources, government aid. There are a ton of resources out there. Even if you don't need the resources at the moment, I think that it's always good to just know what is available. Those are my tips. Court, I don't know if you want to add anything.
I don't think I have anything to add. Making sure that you know where your money is, where it's coming from, where it's going, taking care of the things that you need and kind of holding off on the things that you want.
So just to recap, first tip here is to think through your worst case scenarios, think through action plans. After that, build up your emergency fund. Be aware of all your expenses. Know everything coming in, everything going out. Start side hustles, research side hustles. Just get some extra money coming in if you can. And then my last tip is just to research your resources, know what is available to you. And I think the last thing that I'll say is that this video really was for if you're in the situation that you can be prepping right now, because I know that and I want to be sensitive toward that there are many people who are already in, this situation, and easier said than done with a lot of these tips. So I know that there's, a lot of people who can't really, or it's going to be more difficult to do these tips. So I just want to be sensitive to that. And again, not expert tips. This is just how I am personally creating my game plan. Thank you all for watching. If you want more tips, tricks, resources, conqueringadulthood.com. Check us out. Thank you for joining our community.
Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you guys want to subscribe to our channel, definitely hit the subscribe button below. And for our website, if you guys want to follow along and be subscribed to our newsletter, we'll put a link in the description there as well, so you never miss a video or an article.
Yes, and I'll also just say in our newsletter once a month, we send out just opportunities and resources that we come across. So if you are subscribed to that, you'll get, different opportunities and different resources straight to your inbox.
Thank you guys so much, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
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 All right.